basically not really.
If you want, we can.
I'm not asking you to do it.
No, not today. I have to prepare anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
But just a second. In addition to this, between us, what is a eulogy? Let's start with the sketch. A eulogy is she was a good baker. She took us to vacations. This is not a eulogy. This is every animal does it.
I'm talking about a family member.
I'm not a
family member speaking about.
No, I'm using it as an example. The way it was by Rabbi Aral is perfect. You saw what the father is about. You saw an educator. But very often, you hear from male eulogy also.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, male or women, whoever's giving you. May talk about her baking.
Nonsense. No, I'm saying, but
the nonsense comes from either one.
No, I agree. This is why many disagree even to regular family members. Unless you are guided, unless you know what you're doing.
I came in for a mincha, and they were in the middle of the lachash, whatever. So I rushed through and so on. I had no kavanah or anything. Can I do a nidava after that? Another minyan comes.
Theoretically speaking, yes. Only if you know that in the second minyan you'll have a good kavanah.
Yeah, of course I have.
The proper way to do it is to wait till the Chazan begins the Amidah loud, and then you say with him. This is This is the proper way. Instead of rushing through.
And that part I never saw before. The Ashkenaz do, and this is I saw it this year. That somebody came late. The kahal was finished, and they said Naktisha, and they said they started Baruch at the end. They said Naktisha. I never saw that before. We don't do that. We don't do that at all, right? Really? Okay.
But you see, lady, your question before is a big question, not only because Rabbi Aral, you saw the perfect eulogy, because each one, his wife and his daughters everyone gave. This is a perfect. But you see, the message that the other get is, your wife would say, my friend wants to. Okay. Is this a eulogy? What is a eulogy? We said before. What is the purpose of a eulogy?
To arouse the crowd.
Arouse the crowd to what?
To do teshuvah.
To show who the person was, and you walk away. So over there, you walked away. Everyone in school walked away inspired. Very few eulogies, you walk away inspired. Because the rabbis are forced to do, very often they don't know anything about the deceased. And but for the children with this, I had a man in my Daf Yomi. Many years, 4 years. His wife died. I never met his wife in my life. And his son calls me up and he says, my father once told him I would love to. I don't know your mother. And even if you give me details, it's not me saying, I'm repeating. He says, but it would mean a lot to my father. Okay, so I told him, give me a few details. But of course, I spoke on her through her husband. And I see that, I told my wife, I felt uncomfortable. The answer is I did chesed. I didn't eulogize.
What if you're a rabbi Bakahal? You use that opportunity.
Right. And if you're a rabbi, you speak about the community, you see the way, okay. Yeah. But you realize that the rabbis out of nowhere have to do with it.
Yeah, it's very difficult. There are people in the Kahal, they don't go to shul, they never made a relationship.
I went to few funerals, and the children, let's say, in this particular case, family lived in Brooklyn, but the children lived in Passaic and this. So the rabbi from Passaic has to. So he says, I met him every time he came on a holiday. Okay? So he met him 2 times a year. And Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach. The answer is again, it became too sensitive. Yeah. Too sensitive for people to see. You asked your question at the right time.
Yeah, well, no, it's right that we finished the question.
So today's classes are dedicated anonymous as of for the app.
Oh, yeah. Now for what?
I didn't say.
Anonymous.
Okay.
Didn't say. I guess that's enough, right?
Everyone has good reasons to be with it. Please open the.
No, it's going down.
Set it off, then shut it off.
Yeah, but you see, like in the morning, when I came earlier, the morning was warm. So they put a little bit of to put, but it's never.
You know the story, I told you many times, Rabbi Meir, so solve the
Yeah.
problem thermostat on the
No
shore.
worries.
But eventually the
He saw
thermostat
the
is not
problem,
connected.
He put a thermostat, they're not connected. They turn it this way, they turn it that way, everybody.
This way, everyone
Everybody's
feels. Yeah.
He said it once, I don't think it still happened on the news show, but they also.
But this way, everyone
Everybody
feels
does
it is in control.
It's like Rabbi Beda once made a speech to talk about life as kiddie rides. You go to the Coney Island, you go on the kiddie rides, and you turn the wheel, you hit the horn, you do nothing. Hashem is right God in your life. You go in circles. It's a similar concept.
No, but it's more than that. You come into a shul, you have 200 people. I happen to be
Your
cold
fault?
or hot.
Must be
So because
freezing. Your
I
fault.
cold or hot, Sammy Sadney has to feel whether. But this is what you feel. What does it mean that 199
That's
people
what
are
gets
there?
codes.
They're probably cold too.
No, but it depends on the age.
No. Also depends on your marriage. How about your wife? Having at home. I solved the problem.
Age is,
Yeah.
I
the
solved,
older I get, the colder I get.
So,
I
yeah,
solved the problem.
Of course.
I solved the
Because
problem.
of the
Blankets. I use blankets.
Rabbi,
Up
would
or
you
down.
say, Trump going to the O'Hill had some impact
I
on?
can swear by
Said-
Sefer Torah, Yom Kippur, it didn't have any effect.
My wife went down.
I would swear on Sefer Torah, Yom Kippur, it didn't have any effect.
You're an old, you call me an old man.
But I tell you
He
the.
did it for one and only
Come in
reason.
here.
No, you're old men were.
If you ask me,
Right, I'm an old man, fine, okay, I'm still
10
cold.
years ago, he threw someone and his expense to a doctor, then yes.
It's not a joke.
What are you going to do? What I did?
Rabbi, can I give you a second?
Yeah,
We
man.
have one of those,
Picture.
we have Wi-Fi, so
He's
it's
a
on the
point
phone.
to Babich knows exactly how to use those occasions to sell you
We need
something.
a mattress therapy. I don't-
Every
That they
tefillah
have.
helps.
That you can buy.
Every tefillah helps.
Therapists
Rabbi,
are
but I'll
cheap.
give you a psychological answer to that. It didn't help. But in his mind, he thinks it helped.
No,
So
no.
that's good.
What'd you say,
No,
Rabbi?
In
no,
his
it's-
mind, he thinks it helped.
What's
That's
that?
okay. Trump went to the whole hell. So,
I say
so
about.
Rabbi said it did help. No, obviously.
No. I'm saying is either yes or no. Had he gone to a grave of a Russian Jew that kept mitzvot, it's the same. Because if you would go there, you would not ask photographers to take a picture, which means I'm doing it for the right reason.
Oh, even better,
But here,
even better.
but בוודאי שזה יותר טוב.
Come on.
But then it's real.
This is real. It's only.
But
Of
I'm saying-
course,
but I'm saying-
I know that.
But I'm saying he thinks it worked. That's okay.
But he convinced the Haredim to vote.
They were already convinced.
By that picture.
No,
90% of people in my community have nothing to do with Lubavitch, and everyone before the Lubavitch Rabbi died knew that they were going to.
Everybody was going to Trump before.
Of course.
Everybody.
Everyone, the fact that the rabbis called this to God didn't make any difference, but everyone understood. For the sake of Israel.
Every 12 million, yeah.
12 million.
Less than
Every
five.
tefillah, every tefillah there, we made publicizing Jewish value.
Maybe the liberals might
He
have,
said
might have
New
won.
Jersey could become a swing state, 5%.
Oh, wow.
4752.
You think it had no effect on anything, Rabbi, the fact that he went to Rabbi's grave?
Whatever you want, if you're a Chassid Lubavitch, it's all the effect. If you're not a Chassid, zero effect, and if you're in between, they are masters of PR. Yeah, it's good.
Masters.
They're great.
Great.
Oh, they orchestrated it.
That's all. Oh, but you have to give them credit. They came from a socialist country, from Russia, and they know exactly how to play with them, which is fine.
We were talking the other night, my kids, I told them I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning, Tuesday night, I was that late. I said, you watch sports till that time. I can't watch politics.
I'll take one, thank you.
Anybody else need it?
We'll take one more.
Come, open the Chumash, Ezra, please. This week by Akedat Yitzchak,
Yeah.
Shem says to Abraham, Kachna, Timcha, Timcha, Asher Ahavta, Yilech Lecha El Eretz HaMoriah. Why didn't you tell him exactly where to go?
Yeah.
And B, why didn't you tell him to do it in Times Square? This way we take pictures. Answer is the minute you do it in Times Square, you lose 90% of the value of the mitzvah. because you have the inspiration of people looking at you. The value of the mitzvah is as less people know about it, is more lishma. This is the rule. Okay, but you realize the last 50 years we are taking religion and using it for politics. We're selling ourselves cheap. What is that? There's a reason why great rabbis refuse take pictures. Forget
Right,
the Kabbalistic
right.
religion.
Right.
But from Zaman Auerbach, young people used to bring him a trogim. 1 year he really got, one of this really a trogim friend. His son saw that the morning, the first day, he's going to show him a secondary trog. So his son says to him, Abba, what's that? He says, why do I have to show it to everyone? This is the bracha he made in his house. And the nice trog.
Don't make them feel
It's
bad.
the exact opposite. What happens to Judaism today is we have the photographers, yeah. Now we can do it. No, we are afraid. We are afraid. We are afraid to admit it. This is why the emet today is in corners in the wall. People look at this. This is the way Judaism looks to them. Come, look a second, right before Hashem talks to Abraham. Hashem reveals to Abraham about Sodom. Look a second on page 80. Page 80. We have to leave it hurry because we have an open house today, but we have 15 minutes. Oh, we're fine.
Nice.
Hashem,
High School, open house.
open house. והשם אמר, המכסה אני מאברהם, אשר אני עושה. Hashem says, I have to reveal to Abraham. Hashem says, I have to reveal to Abraham what I'm about to bring on Sodom. Why? Why? Because he needs his prayer. Pasuk gives the reason. ואברהם, היו יהיה לגוי גדול. Abraham is going to become ועצום, ונברחו בו כל גויי הארץ. And the reason why Abraham has to know about it is, כי ידעתיו, למען אשר יצווה את בניו ואת ביתו אחריו, ושמרו דרך השם, לעשות צדקה ומשפט, למען אבי השם על אברהם את אשר דיבר. Read the English translation, Larry. Larry, I'm saying, Rani.
We have Larry?
Hashem said, shall I conceal from Abraham what I do? Now that Abraham is surely to become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall bless themselves by him.
It's an amazing pasuk anyway you look at it. But which reason is
The
that?
next pasuk is more important. The next pasuk to me is the most important pasuk in the Torah.
Yeah, why is that?
Because it says why Hashem picked Abraham.
Yeah, okay.
Because it doesn't say before Lech we don't know why he picked him.
Yeah. No.
This guy is the real
I'm
thing.
saying, but why is this a reason to notify Abraham?
Why do you think he wasn't the real thing? Why do you think he wasn't?
He's not arguing, he's just saying the Torah reveals Abraham here. It's 100%.
Abraham, why? It doesn't say, the Torah doesn't say, till this pasuk. Because he is going to do the right thing and he's going to teach his children after him.
Right. Yeah, but the question is, why is this a reason why Hashem should reveal to him? Hashem says, I have to tell you. So the truth is that when the Rambam brings this pasuk, the Rambam, everyone likes to quote it because it serves many people's purposes. Page 82.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the English in 19, and 19 is very limited the way they wrote the English. They limited it to charity and justice. So you might come away and take away from that. If I do charity and justice, I'm good. I'm good.
You miss the first half of the pasuk, which is the most important. The first half of the pasuk is the most important part. He's teaching it to his kids. This is the pasuk, not what he's doing. Abraham is an educator. Everything he's doing, he's thinking about his kids. Every time in school for the next 1,000 years, when a kid has a problem, you meet the parents, you understand what the problem is. Yeah? כי ידעתיו למען אשר יצווה את בניו, he's teaching his kids, his family members, and by doing that, ושמרו דרך השם. Okay, so we'll leave the question for the end of the week. How is it connected directly? But what you see from here that the mitzvah of chinuch is min Torah. If you look in all the Rishonim, they talk about mitzvah mid'Rabbanan. We as parents are obligated to do A, B, C, D mid'Rabbanan. Here it says that it's min Torah. So we are going into the details of, so it comes out like this. So comes out, it's like Chol HaMoed. It's Chol HaMoed, not to go to work on Chol HaMoed if you really don't have to. Is it min Torah or mid'Rabbanan? So it's a big machloket in the Rishonim. Take Mishnah Berurah Chelek Hey, you have your Hey. Every two should divide one. Look a second in the beginning, the first page of the book that you open. I'm using it as an example. And if we understand good what the pasuk is saying, we'll see is the father obligated in chinuch, is the mother obligated. This is Aleph. The Aleph we'll use later. Open the first page in the book that you have. No, it's okay. It's the wrong value. Okay, so I'll tell you what it's wrong. It's not hey. It's hey. Anyway, the Biur Halacha brings a machloket atzuma between the Vav. Forget. So the Mishnah Berurah says it's a machloket atzuma between the Rishonim, between the Rambam, Rif. Even if you say it's min Torah, so how can I have a leniency if I have to go to work or my worker needs a salary? Well, so the Torah gave us the general guideline and the details Hashem gave to Chachamim. כך אומר הר"ן במסכת מועד קטן. The base of chinuch, the base of mitzvat chinuch is here. What is mitzvat chinuch? יצווה את בניו ואת ביתו אחריו, ושמרו דרך השם, לעשות את צדקה ומשפט. This is what chinuch is. A fellow is acting in a certain way.
By example, so to speak.
By example, he's acting in a certain way. Okay, so if you want, you can say, Hashem says, I know what Abraham is going to do. What is Abraham going to do? He's going to pray for Sodom. It's the biggest lesson of your life, yes? How come Abraham went to pray for Sodom and he's not praying for his son to be saved at the end of the parasha in the Akedah Ezra? Why didn't he pray to God by Mitzrayim? His wife was killed. Doesn't say anywhere that he.
This is the first time we're interpreting the fact of prayer to receive something.
But this is prayer to the extreme left in Israel, to those who dance in front of an idol on Simchat Torah b'Shabbat. But Abraham is praying.
So from this, once you see that, it was obvious that he probably prayed, but it didn't bring it down. I'm sure he prayed for both of those things.
What he says, which means he prays even for people who really reach.
But for people who he doesn't even know, of course he prayed for himself.
So he, paraphrasing, look, Hashem knew that Abraham would pray on behalf of people in general as a role model that he cared about
He's
others.
saying good. He's praying always. It's obvious.
Yeah. As a role
To
model
pray
for
to
others,
those people, if Hashem says they have to be wiped from earth,
even if they're
well,
really,
maybe you shouldn't pray for them.
if they're living the wrong life. So
You do understand also that Abraham is not praying that God should save him. Abraham is saying, give them another chance. And if you have good people in the community, they might create a change in the community. But still, if they have to be wiped out, they have to be wiped out.
Right, after he runs out of good people, he doesn't pray anymore to save those the Rosh Hashanah.
Because obviously it's
He was never praying to save the Rishayim. He was praying to save the good people. All 50 hours, all good people.
לא, the commentators explain, אולי יש 50 צדיקים,
To save all of
and
them.
because of them,
They have enough.
they might.
They get saved, they get
He's not
saved.
asking
תשמע,
to
וזה
pull the
מאוד
good people
יפה,
out.
מאוד יפה, if you look at the text. Please look at פסוק 24. אולי יש 50 צדיקים בתוך העיר. מה זה בתוך העיר, סמי? Of course, he's talking about Paris. People who are part of the community, people that can influence the community, but not people in this corner. He's not saying maybe there is a Sadiq Nistar in this corner. בתוך העיר, people who are involved in the community, they might,
Influencers, as they call it in today's language.
they might ever.
You have to be in a position to influence.
Which
Not
means
just-
Abraham is saying, give them a chance. They reached bottom, yeah. In our generation, more than any generation, you can see it, yes.
It's interesting, it says that I've heard the difference, the Glal and the Ma'at. He uses the word.
Yeah,
One is for a purpose and one is yeah.
very nice. But the Rambam himself, the Rambam, believe it or not, he got a the Rambam.
The English over here says, in the midst of the city, these people must display their righteousness not only privately, but also in public, in the midst of the city.
Okay, but you realize
Yes, the righteousness.
everyone is taking the word בתוך העיר, slightly different, yeah. Now let's look at the Rambam in the Chod. Let's look at the Rambam. We have to really share it again. Look at Rambam in Chod Yeot. Rambam Sefer Madai in Chod Yeot. Everyone knows that if you read carefully the Rambam is saying a man should not be extreme. Yes? If you are very angry, don't go all the way. Yes? Find the middle. Okay, it's a fascinating Rambam, but look what the Rambam says at the end. After the Rambam is giving us many, many examples. Don't be too generous, but do whatever you do. If you have more, here, look a second.
Except for cars.
נכון, כעס, if you learn to control the כעס, right. So then let's look a second in Perek Bet, for instance. Look, I'm just using an example before. Look a second in Perek Bet, and רוצה לראות, over there, גימל is what he said in כעס. Look a second in Zion, he gives us look what he said. לא יהיה אדם בעל צחוק ועיתוי. You shouldn't be lightheaded all the time. But don't be sad and frowning, אלא שמח. כך אמרו חכמים, צחוק וקלות ראש מרגילים את האדם מן הערווה. Then he says, later he says, yeah, you need a drive to make money, but if you're going too far, okay. Now look what he says. Look at the end of הלכה זין. Yeah, כך אמרו חכמים. הקנאה והתאווה והכבוד, exceedingly being jealous or competing with someone, or desires, or כבוד, pictures and etc., מוציאים את האדם מן העולם. עכשיו זלמן אורבך was offered to be the chief rabbi of Yerushalayim, and if he puts his name on the ballot, no one runs against him. The idea, but no one, I mean, says Chas v'Shalom. Says, why should I be in the public eye all the time? ככה אמר, this way I can go privately to help people, I don't have to do things to please this, ככה אמר. אמרו לו, אף אחד לא ירוץ, שום, כולם הסכימו.
Smart man.
Most smart men do the opposite today. כללו של דבר, ילך במידה הבינונית. You have to always choose the middle. שבכל דעה ודעה, in every, כן? עד שיהיו כל דעותיו מכוונות באמצע. But this is how we summarize. Now let me show you how the Rambam quotes the pasuk that we are talking about. Look now on פרק א' הלכה ז', א' ז', א' ז'. You have פרק א' בדעות. Look a second. כיצד ירגיל לעצמו בדעות האלו? How can you train yourself to reach the middle of every מידה? רב שלמה זלמן אוירבך used to say, he was a model being very patient. The people drove him. Says, when I was young, I used to flare up. He says, it took me years to... ככה אמר על עצמו. אמר על עצמו.
He probably had a very fiery personality.
Personality. If you know his family, his brothers, his father, you understand this is exactly what he was. Each one of them was fire.
Intense.
His oldest son, the chief rabbi of Haifa, every time he spoke, he had the same. He said, I realize it's out of the...
How to contain them. Have kids in
this
school.
is what makes people great. They're not born with greatness. So, anyway, look at the Rambam. כיצד ירגיל האדם עצמו בדעות אלו עד שיקבעו בו יעשה, do it once, וישנה, repeat it, וישלש, במעשים שעושה. The Rambam is saying the same way if you go to a gym.
It's training.
You're training. Says do it again and again and again and again. You're going to fail, you're definitely going, but do it again and again. ויחזור בהם תמיד עד שיהיו מעשיהם קלים עליו ולא יהיה בהם טורח ויקבעו. Now, listen carefully what he says now. ולפי שהשמות האלו שנקרא בהם היוצר הם הדרך הבינונית. What is he saying? He says all the שמות, תסתכל בהלכה והמנתק, לא כבר. כך למדו בפירוש מצווה זו, מהו נקרא חנון, אף אתה יהיה חנון. מהו נקרא רחום, אף אתה רחום. אתה שומע? מהו נקרא קדוש, אף אתה קדוש. כן? Now he says, listen, what he says now. ולפי שהשמות האלו שנקרא בהם היוצר, הם הדרך הבינונית שאנו חייבים ללכת בה, נקרא דרך זו דרך השם. והוא, סיימת תשמע איך שהרמב"ם פה זורק את זה, והוא שלימדה אברהם אבינו לבניו. אברהם is not teaching them, שנאמר כי ידעתי, הפסוק that we just read, before storm, כי ידעתי למען אשר יצווה את בניו ואת ביתו אחריו, ושמרו דרך השם לעשות צדקה ומשפט. Says the Rambam, the pasuk that we read is exactly that. What is that? Find the middle way. Now, what does it mean? That Hashem is telling it to him before he's about to destroy Sodom. וההולך בדרך זו מביא טובה וברכה לעצמו, שנאמר למען הביא השם על אברהם את אשר דיבר עליו. איזה רמב"ם. You realize what he took? מה לקח את זה מפה? מה זה כתוב בסדום? If you have the ability to look on someone who is the exact opposite of you, and you still find room to pray for him. He's not saying Hashem, give them a blemish. תראה, רב חיים ברים הוא תלמיד מובהק of the חזון איש. הוא היה חסיד אמת, חסיד אמת. So he said to the Chazon Ish, all my life I'm really trying to walk after if you know what he did. But he says, Chazon Ish told him, look for a fellow in Haifa. Haifa was the bastille of all the left. Find a sick man, get his name and pray every day in the midah for him. איפה הוא לקח את זה? מה כתוב?
Even Democrats?
Democrats.
So there's a limit,
No, but you realize what he's saying. Is that you have to be very smart. He's not saying what they do is negative for sure. What they do is they have to be punished. It's in the Chumash. But how do you look at it? If you look at the big picture, yes, there's a very famous question. The question is, the Malachim are coming to Yaakov and they're telling him, וגם הולך לקראתך ו400 איש. Which means there's no question, they're just coming to kill you. As they meet, Esav is running, He's falling on him.
How did that
Makarawas.
happen?
It's a miracle happened, it's not a miracle. So one of the great commentators told over the following story on himself. Said he was a rabbi of a big community, but Be'emet היה איש צדיק, and he didn't know what the day-to-day activity, who is the bad people. Anyway, in the community there was a fellow that was an informer to the government. Whoever he told the government agents, they listened. So everyone was afraid from him. So whatever he wanted, people gave it. They came to a store, like the suit, he takes it, he doesn't pay. One morning, a new merchant from a different community comes, he displays a beautiful, wagon with fresh fruit. And this jug is coming and he's taking the best and he's walking away. What is it? He says, my name is so-and-so. Everyone in the community knows that. He said, well, what do you mean? You took my best. Anyway, remember, the guy is new. And this is early in the morning. He runs to shul. And he says to the rabbi, this is what just happened. I said, who? Give the name. Can you describe him? He calls the shamosh and he says, do I know this guy? The rabbi says, everyone was afraid to tell you, but he says, this is a man that everyone is afraid. Ezra, what should you tell in 2024? What should we tell the rabbi? Anyway, next Shabbat, the rabbi always used to get shishi. And this pig used to get shishi every Shabbat. Can't give you revi'i chas v'shalom shishi. By Ashkenazim, you get revi'i. By Chamishi, you leave. The rabbi stayed. Then the Gabbai called up this informer. He gets up. The rabbi smacks him in front of everyone. Leave the shul. Don't ever come back. As he's leaving, he's telling the rabbi, you'll definitely hear from me soon. When you realize everyone knew that this guy is delivering.
It's not an empty threat.
A few weeks later, the father comes to the rabbi. He says, my wife gave birth to a baby boy. Can you please come be the mohel, this and that? He says, fine. He sends a wagon. The rabbi goes with two students. A few miles out of town, they realize that this fellow is coming from the rabbi. This was a setup, obviously, to isolate him from the community. And the students start to shiver, mamash to shiver. They knew that if they would kill him, would beat him up. And they look, the rabbi noticed it also. They look on him, he somehow come. They meet, they stop, and this informer runs to the rabbi, hugs him, and kisses him, and says, I'm Rasha Gamur. One of these stories. The rabbi says, we can't talk here, you have to come to the back. Okay. The rabbi, on the way back, the students are telling the rabbi, we know for sure that this was a setup. This was
what happened here?
What happened here? The rabbi said, the minute I saw it, I knew it also. So we're thinking what happened to Yaakov Avinu.
Oh.
Esav is coming, it's exactly the same. Shema Shomer. I mean, I read it a million times, and you try it sometimes. The Pasuk says in Mishlei, Kemayim hapanim lapanim, listen to it. What does it mean? The same face you show the water, yes? This is the face you see. If you smile and you have crystal clear water, you see a smiling face. If you are angry, you listen. If I feel that I hate you,
it's going to show.
It's going to show by him.
Oh, he did the same. So.
Kemayim hapanim lapanim.
He gave him a nice face.
Yes. So the rabbi said, what happened with Yaakov really was, of course Esav came, but Yaakov is thinking to himself, I know the Esav. Let's go back to the early years. How was he raised? He says, and slowly he changed his mind on Esav. So the rabbi says, I met this guy once. I heard from other people. Do I know his background? I mean, what if this is what every psychologist tells you today? This is why it changed. Okay? When Abraham is going to pray for his daughter, he's not looking on him as tzaddikim. Everyone knows that these people have to be wiped out. But he is able to see that there is room for them to change, and he's telling Hashem, please. This is what the Rambam is saying. You realize? The Rambam is saying, if you're an extreme guy, you always see everybody black and white, it's good, you're not good, this, that. The man, before I am wiping Sdom, I want Abraham to teach his kids. It's difficult, yeah? If you look at Israel today, some people you wonder, what are they, the answer is, but they are, and deep inside, remember, it's easy talk, we all know this talk, but in reality, it does work. They published 2 years ago the biography of Rabbi Charlap. Rabbi Charlap was the disciple of Kook, Mamash, in the biography, Shar Chesed, Rabbi Charlap was in the middle of Shar Chesed. A man comes to him, this is in the 30s, there is a fellow up in Chavia who's watering the Lord on Shabbat. But there are many people not religious, but to do it publicly, So the rabbi says to his son-in-law, come, let's go. He puts it, he goes up Rehov Keren Kayemet, the man is watering the lawn. The rabbi stops and starts to cry. And the guy runs to him and says, Rabbi, why are you crying? To see in the middle of Yerushalayim someone. The second is the guy says, סליחה, לא ידעתי. בקיצור, the guy, תסלח לי, לרבי הזה, אתה רוצה סליחה, תבוא אצלי בסעודה שלישית. came to סעודה שלישית, he came next week סעודה שלישית, before the year is over, the mention. The rabbi knew that what he's doing is secular, it's not in Suda. To water your Lord Shabbat, Yamara, you give him a warning. Stop, you're not doing it, you have to go to Sanhedrin. But the answer is, of course the guy doesn't really know, yeah? But what should I do now? I have to do Tochacha. It's nice talk sometimes, but sometimes it's... But in Israel today, in Europe today, in America today, it's the only way that works.
That's one.
No, but you realize this is what the Rambam, תשמע מה שהרמב"ם אומר. The Rambam is saying, מה אומר הרמב"ם פה? The Torah is saying it before I talk to Sdom. What is he saying? These people have to be wiped. No question about it. They are רשעים גמורים. Abraham is trying to give them a chance, not to forbid. Because Sdom really had a warning because they know what happened before. But anyway, let's go back. This pasuk in this sefer, this is Minchat Asher, this is the book of Rabbi Asher Weiss. He claims this pasuk is the shoresh of mitzvat chinuch. This pasuk in the Chumash. Ki yadati leman asher yitzaveh et banav. Now, all the details that we see in many Gemarot, we see them in Tir. You have Chelek Aleph, take Chelek Aleph a second.
But you have a Bishmal, Rabbi, Bishmal,
Banecha elu atamidim. Elu atamidim. The Gemara says Banecha, it goes to your students. The obligation to teach your sons are different pasuk. It's a pasuk of Sefer Dvarim. Ulemad etem otam. Teach it too, but Banecha is bring a second. You have Rosh Hashanah Yom HaSukkah. See right there? Right there. No, the shelf, second shelf. No, not this. No, I need you. No, you. Rosh Hashanah Yom HaSukkah. We need a sukkah.
Rabbi, you mentioned something I had a thought about. Should they have gotten a warning? What was there an actual warning? They're going to,
She says it they're done. Everyone knew about the Mabul, everyone knew.
But is that considered a warning? I mean, it happened 10 generations earlier. That's tough, Rabbi. I mean, it was 10 generations earlier.
Of course we'll talk about it. Not only that, שומע, נביא יחזקאל say, I mean, when he's rebuking storm, he says, הלא זה היה עבורך, ויד עני ואביון לא החזיק. This is the storm, ויד עני ואביון. שומע, question is, it's not even one of 7 מצוות בנוח. התשובה היא, the Ramban says in פרשת נוח, every עבירה או מצווה, the human nature, כולם מסכימים that this is good or not good, you're חייב, regardless of what אומר. וזה פסוק מפורש באופן ביחזקאל, this week we'll bring it inside. אופן סוכה דף נ"ב. זה כלול בזה, זאת אומרת, and if you look at the Rambam, if you look at the Rambam, you look at the Rambam, it's Membet.
Especially if you compare us to Yahweh, Torah comes to point to show us how they get a warning, and Nabi comes to warn them and all that. You know.
Sukkah, make sure, look a second, yeah. The general rule here. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Sukkah. So first you make sure that it's a good Sukkah. Sukkah. Look carefully at the Gemara, Sukkah Membet. Sukkah Membet Amud Aleph. Look at the Gemara, the beginning of the Gemara. The beginning of the Gemara, the second line, you see?
Yeah.
You have it? Katan, listen carefully. Tanu, Sukkah Amud Aleph, Membet Amud Aleph, Tanu Rabbanan, few lines after the Gemara. Tanu Rabbanan, Katan hayodea lena'anea, chayav belulav. מה זה יודע לנענע? Every kid knows how to take a lulav and sweep the floor with it. The na'anea means he knows how to shake it halachically, more or less. Not exactly as far as Ashkenazim. Beit Atev, he knows how to wrap himself in tzitzit, chayav b'tzitzit. Lishmor tefillin, not only to put the black boxes on your head, but to maintain a clean body. Well, לא כתוב יודע לשים תפילין לשמור, because later we'll see the Gemara עם ברכות עם דף כ', אביו לוקח לו תפילין. יודע לדבר, אביו לומדו תורה, וקריאת שמע. תורה מהי? אמר רבי אבנונה, תורה ציווה לנו משה מורשה קהילת יעקב. This is the first pasuk. Many schools when they teach kids to learn, they start with this pasuk. This is the Torah ציווה לנו משה.
It's a nice song. Torah,
No, but this is the reason here.
It's the core principle.
This is the reason it's here. But you realize it's not only because it's a nice song, it's because the essence of learning is the Torah ציווה לנו משה מורשה קהילת יעקב. It's not a man-made. תורה ציווה לנו משה מורשה קהילת יעקב. אוקיי. קריאת שמע מהי פסוק ראשון. אוקיי. The Gemara continues. So basically all the details of chinuch are written here.
Yeah.
Right? Which means that every age, you are commanded to do A, B, or C. But the general idea of chinuch, the Minchat Asher claims is written by us. In general, every father and every mother, we'll see later why the word mother is very important. Is the mother really obligated to do it? She's not obligated in those details, but she is obligated to set the spirit of the, it's amazing, by Ashkenazim too, but since our school is mainly Sephardic, it's amazing what kids get from the mothers.
Sure.
I'm not talking about the boys from the fathers, yes, but my mother. Your mother was a student like you. She knew nothing and you know nothing. But my mother, the answer is, this is really what generations can transmit to others. I had a kid in class many years ago. I was teaching that you cannot, when you read the pasuk, you cannot shave with a razor. So a kid says, Tishma, he says, I'm shaving with a razor. Honest kid. Told me, my father is doing it. His father was the assistant of Moshe Rabbeinu. And if he is doing it, so I told him, listen, I don't know where your grandfather was raised. I'm not sure what I'm in the Chumash. He says, but my grandfather is doing it. So shut me up. No, but this is one of the biggest assets of this community. Hasidim are exactly the same as Faradim. It's my Zayde, my grandfather. What?
Yeah, we do that.
No, but you're laughing, but I'm telling you, you don't realize how much power you have with this statement. This is why keeping them in Hagim, keeping the this, keeping the that. I was teaching once Gemara Shabbat. You hear Sammy? That if you have an animal that belongs to you, you're allowed to feed the animal on Shabbat. If it doesn't belong to you, Chaya, but if it doesn't belong to you, Asur. Tishma. And I'm saying to the class, this is why the Ashkenazim, they have a very nice name, Shabbat B'Shalach. Shabbat B'Shalach, people feed the birds. Why? Because it says in the Midrash that when Natan and Aviram were very smart, they went before Shabbat. They took some man to spread it in the desert to show that Moshe Rabbeinu is wrong. Anyway, the birds came and they ate it. So, as I said in the class, Magen Avraham says, in my community, you see it every year, you take a plate with crumbs before Shabbat, you cover it,
Nice.
and Shabbat you remove the cover only. Let the birds come. But I said, you're not permitted to take on Shabbat. An old man, I'll never forget, but I was too young for this. He says, but my Zayde, my grandfather did it. No, he said it to me. On Shabbat. So I told him, I was young, I said, listen, I'm not talking about your grandfather, but the Gemara says it, but his grandfather did it. No, but the truth is, let him stay. Go do it. But do other things your grandfather did also. But this is the part, but you realize the Gemara, yes? The way we treat the tefillin, the way you sit in the sukkah, the way you act in shul, the way you treat other people, the way you... There are millions of stories like this.
We have two customs in our family. On Pesach, we take the tray, the Moroccan custom, and pass it over everybody's head. They say that the tradition is that the rays from the Shemayim come down through the tray to the participants. Well, my kids said they want to do it at home also. They take same tradition. It's just.
Honey, did you ever eat a hard-boiled egg without dipping it in salt?
No.
It's also unheard by Ashkenazim. The first time I heard it in the class, a girl told me, we are barely Shomer Shabbat. He says, my mother takes the frozen pizza on Shabbat, she puts it in, but never ever, the egg without salt. No, but you see, we are laughing at it, but the power of, if you do it right, originally, the way you pray, the way you put it in, the way you do it, this is the way your kids do it. Look now, you should know that, by the way, it says in all this Farim, after 120 years, everyone has two judgments. You as a person, then your children, yes? Oh. Basically, all your children, of course, if you have students, the students also. This is why they say the Kaddish and say the Arayat, all this, all the mitzvot that we do on behalf is exactly that, because the children are the only ones that can really help or whatever. Yeah. Look now, Shulchan Aruch, Siman Yud Gimel, תראו דברים פרק. Siman Yud Gimel.
So this Gemara is written as if the Chiyuv is on the Katan. It doesn't mention the father.
Tomorrow. Eli is saying basically there is a machloket in the Rishonim.
Right, I know there is.
Big machloket, the Ramban and Rashi. And then many other Rishonim, is the Chiyuv on the father to make sure that the son is doing it? or in addition to silence his own chiyuv. Yes.
Right, the way this Gemara is written, it seems
That's
that
the way
the
it's
chiyuv is on the katan.
Tomorrow I'll show you languages in the Rambam. Rambam. That sounds sometimes like this. Open Siman Yud Gimel. Siman. No, I'll leave it 5 to whatever. Siman Yud Gimel. Sif Gimel. No, not this. It's
You know, there's a Mishnah bit of that without a.
I don't think it's chemo.
No, it's not Siman Yud Gimel. Gimel is a Siman that the father has to buy tzitzit for his son. That's it. Second. Down. See, the disadvantage of writing down is because you're not relying on your memory. Yes. Siman Yud Zayin, I'm sorry. Siman Yud Zayin, Sif Gimel. I don't have Gimel. Siman Yud Zayin, I'm sorry. All the kids that take notes as I speak, really, I really understand. They have to be tested to memorize what I'm saying. So do me a favor, understand what I'm saying, and I'll give you a minute to write. You talk to the
But they
world.
say writing it down helps you remember.
Yeah, but only after you understood.
Oh.
See, you are writing what you understood. No, but I don't.
Can't just take notes.
Kids are,
Absorb it and then write.
kids are interested in the grade. And the grade is Rabbi, you said it.
Various methods to study for the bards. One of them was called Peeper, and you would have you write the notes, but again, you didn't have to repeat what he said unless you understood what he said.
Look a second. Seif Gimel, Siman Yud Zayin, Seif Gimel. Katana Yodea להתעטף. Eli, what does it mean להתעטף?
To wrap.
To wrap.
Do you know any kid that doesn't know how to? It means look at the Mishnah Berurah.
But it's like the tefillin.
He knows how to do it right, which means he knows that you have to wrap yourself, okay? Aviv, צריך לקח לו ציצית, okay? His father has to buy him ציצית לחנכו here.
Right.
First time Shulchan Aruch talks about, look at the Rama elaborates, ודווקא כשיודע לעטוף שני ציציות לפניו ושניים לאחריו, which means the kid knows exactly how to do it, yeah? Now, look a second in the Mishnah Berurah now. לקח לו ציצית, this is the one left here. לקח לו ציצית, פירוש, לקח לו בגד של 4 כנפות, להטיל בו ציצית, כדי לחנכו במצוות. Now listen, this is a big topic now.
To put the tzitzit on to make
But
kosher.
if you can, but today we're not. כתב בפרי מגדים, what is now the size of tzitzit? That is, if our tzitzit, let's say my talit katan happens to be 22 inches. Yeah? What is the shiur by katan? כתב בפרי מגדים ובדרך החיים, שהוא כדי להתעטף בו ראשו ורובו. Which means, if you measure from your head, including your back, this is rubo, from the head till the middle of your body, זה רובו. The kid might be 5'8", or he might be 4'8". ומשערינן בקטן עצמו, שמתעטף בו לפי גודלו ולפי קוטנו.
Proper size, each body size.
You have to buy him a garment
suitable.
for him, it's רובו, yes? Now, אם יש בו זה השיעור, אז צריך אביו, אתה רואה, עשה לי עוד פעם, להתיר בו ציצית, ולברך עמו, ואם אין בו זה השיעור. This is we're going now to the essence of מצוות חינוך, אין מברכים עליו.
If it's the wrong size,
The wrong
don't
size.
make better. If it's too
The
small,
question is, the kid has no clue. The kid is 6 years old, yeah? In his class now, everyone is getting to see.
Yeah.
The Rebbe bought the average size, let's say average kid in fourth grade is whatever, he's tall. Says, why not? The kid doesn't know, the kid realizes, says here דברים חשובים מאוד, the חינוך is not simply to give him a lemon and a love pasul.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
question.
It's
We
just,
talked about.
over there, over there, everyone talks about it because it's very practical.
Yeah.
The difference is, should the father spend $60 or should the father spend?
A dollar.
When my kids, before they became bar mitzvah, I had to buy each one of them a real one. Afterwards, I said, come take mine. No, because before that, they are minors. So the question is, what do you see for me? You see for me that the chinuch is not simply to mimic.
They should learn the wrong way. They shouldn't.
Not only to them, but the kid doesn't realize.
The question is, there's something intrinsic there. I mean,
Right.
if it's a perfect lemon that looks like in a
Like,
throat.
it looks exactly like a regular throat. Can I give it to him or not? Difference is between 88 cents or between $88.
But if the kid grows up with his seat up to here, all his life he's going to think it up to here is the right way. So therefore, he has to start the right way and those below his waist.
He's saying.
He's to think the wrong thing. He's being trained the wrong way.
Okay, so we are going to see tomorrow because I have to answer this.
Yeah.
What happens if I have a Sukkot? Can I lend him? This is the first day of Sukkot.
No.
The etrog is a perfect.
You can't let it.
נכון, אבל השאלה היא מצד חינוך. I'm not really giving it to him. The problem, the reason why I cannot give it to him, because he has no way to give it back to me.
You're not giving him a
I'm just telling you,
possession.
okay, I'm just telling you, but in my mind, so normally the answer would be no, based on what we're learning here. Nevertheless, the Mishnah Berurah.
Even though he doesn't know the difference. He
This
doesn't
is
know
the-
the difference that he's not connected.
Right, this is exactly the
Yeah,
point.
same thing if
This
you
is
have
the-
it in
but it's
the throat.
exactly the point, which means the chinuch has to be a chinuch to do the mitzvah as an adult. You realize מה אנחנו אומרים, yeah? The
Even
chinuch
if
is
he
to
doesn't
do
know
it
the
the way
difference, there's no
adults do
chinuch
it.
issue.
Even though באמת, if the idea is only to get used to the idea, okay, everyone is saying you love, it says you love.
Rabbi, when they say to you tzitzit, they're talking about tzitzit katan, correct?
ודאי, ודאי, ודאי.
But in the next one, he says tzitzit gadol.
Anyway, it's interesting that you ask me, you know that Ashkenazim, until you get married,
They
and
don't
not
wait till
wearing
they
tallit. Where is the makot? תשמע איזה יופי, תסתכל.
So
Open the book for a second. לא.
No, I understand.
תשמע, תקשיב. משנה ברורה says, מי"ג ואילך היה בטלית כגדול. ומה שכתוב, listen to this, the Maharil, many of Ashkenazi customs come from Maharil 600 years ago. בהלכות נישואין, שגם נערים גדולים אין מתעטפים בציצית, עד שנושאים להם נשים, this is good. בפרשת כי תצא, it says, גדילים תעשה לך, which is ציצית, and right after it says, כי ייקח איש אישה. The Ashkenazi customs,
Connection.
not to wear tzitzit is because the Torah puts the two together. But you said he is really talking even about talit katan here.
But above he says
I
tzitzit gadol.
יודע.
And they wear tzitzit katan.
So the pshara, because everyone is wondering in the Maharil.
What are you talking about?
I'm 17, I'm b'chol hamitzvot except tzitzit. They say the Maharil meant, even though the language is
Just
the language.
Yeah,
I know. Because the Maharil sounds like he's saying, don't put any tzitzit until you get married.
Big and small.
How come big and small? זה מה שהוא אומר.
No,
This is why the
It's
Mishnah
okay.
Berurah wonders. So the pshara, Sammy, the
That's why he's a soldier.
the pshara that the Ashkenazim do is exactly that. Until you get married, you're not putting talit gadol, but talit katan, everyone.
There's a practical benefit to that. That you know which boys are not yet married. So the guys, the school, they're looking to have daughters. Say, oh, he's not married yet. So
My shul said, I prayed in shul, those who graduated Yeshivat Mir in Europe used to pray by us. Many of them never got married, because until they came to America.
they're not wearing
Can you imagine the guy is 40, 50?
He's not wearing a talit.
So from time to time, quietly, we used to give, please take the talit, this is yours.
So you wouldn't feel like an outcast. Wouldn't feel like an
The
outcast.
Ashkenaz and our shul, they do wear the towel, you don't really
What about
see it.
putting up your-
No,
Yeah.
German
No,
Jews,
some
German
don't.
Jews put it, no, put the Kalit Gadol for mitzvah.
Oh,
German Jews, they do that
But all
too.
the other Ashkenazim don't.
What?
All the others don't.
No, regular Ashkenazim don't put it.
I remember I used to pray in London twice a year. for
Eli,
shopping,
this has to
And
stay.
many of
Eli.
the young people, not many of the
This,
audience,
the
said, I
Chelek
would tell
Aleph
them, Shabbat.
should stay, the Chelek Vav was a mistake, this should go, the Vav should go.
Vav,
I made a mistake, I put Hey instead of Vav, okay.
You have to go that way.
Yeah, I'm running.
Go run.
Really have to show my face later, but at the beginning.